All right, let's move on to Debo's Eagles.
Oh boy.
Over under 9. Last year they went 9-8. So they're better this season. They're better right now than they were 3 or 4 months ago, Breech. I don't think there's any dispute about that. And we're sort of uncertain about the Cowboys you mentioned, even if they're the same, are they still 3 games better than the rest of the division? Well, let's see. The Eagles added A.J. Brown. Huge get. I think it was well worth the cost. Hassan Reddick, they brought back former Temple standout. James Bradbury's a huge get. That's secondary. Kazir White, Zach Pascal, the wide receiver. Didn't lose a whole lot. Alex Singleton, the linebacker, Steve Nelson, the former Steeler. He's now in Houston. Rodney McLeod, the safety, and Eric Wilson. So let's take a look at the Eagles' schedule real quick. They are plus 185, by the way. They win the division. The Cowboys were plus 115. I like this Eagles team. I like this schedule. I think it comes down to quarterback Jalen Hurts. You had 11 wins for the Cowboys. I had 9. Where are you at on the Eagles?
So the Eagles, they went 9-8 last season. And I know I totally agree with everyone saying that they improved. They are a much better team than they were last year, but much better than what? Because
what do you mean what? Than last year?
Yeah, well, guess what? You know what they did last year? They didn't beat any good teams. They literally lost to every good team they played, and they beat every bad team they played. So what does that tell you about them? So I'm saying, what have they improved from? They improved from a team that could beat bad teams. Does that mean they can beat good teams now? Because I'm not sure. We saw them lose to the Raiders. We saw them lose to the Buccaneers, the Chiefs, the Chargers, the Cowboys.
Are those bad teams?
No, those are the teams they lost to. I'm saying not beat good teams. You look at their 9 wins. They beat the Commanders twice. They beat the Giants. They beat the Jets. They beat the Broncos pre-Russell Wilson, obviously. They beat the Detroit Lions. They beat the Carolina Panthers. They beat the Atlanta Falcons. I think the only team they beat that finished the year with a winning record was the New Orleans Saints. So that's what I'm saying, is that even though they're better, can they beat the good teams? Because they couldn't do that last year.
All right, so what are you saying?
I am saying that they're over-under of 9. I have them going 4-2 in the division. So now they just need 6 wins. 6 wins to hit that over. 6-5 in their other 11 games, and I think they can do that. I think they can beat the Lions. I think they can beat the Bears. I think they can beat Houston. I think they can beat Jacksonville. So that's 4 of their 6 wins, and I think they'll pull off at least 2 more. Just the way their schedule's set up, I think it sets up well for another successful year. It's kind of like last season's, where if they beat the bad teams, they can get to the playoffs. And can they beat a playoff team? I don't know, but I'd say 10-7, they hit the over.
Oh, you give them 10?
I'm giving them 10.
So I was
trying to downplay it. Like, I don't believe him at all. And I wanted Debo to chime in. He didn't. He fought all his urges. And I'm going over. I think they get to 10 wins and make the playoffs.
No, it's funny you say that, because while you were sort of building up, I went to look to check the Cowboys schedule real quick from last year, because you were panning the Eagles' inability to beat good teams. The Cowboys beat the Chargers, and they beat the Patriots, and they beat the Vikings. I don't know if the Vikings even finished with a winning record. I can't remember. So those are their 3 wins. The Patriots game came in overtime in week 6. It ain't exactly like they set the house on fire in terms of beating good teams. They lost to.
But let me just real quick. I mean, the Eagles lost twice by double digits, by 20 or more points to the Cowboys. They lost by double digits.
Yeah, they're resting their starters.
I mean, but I'm just saying that these games weren't close. The Cowboys were close.
Fair enough. I think that Nick Sirianni got better as a coach as the season went on, and I think that
they played that Baumgartner Minshew in Week 18.
Oh yeah, okay, I'll give you that.
I think that game, like, the Cowboys were definitely better earlier in the year, but I think it would have been close late in the year. But there was no need for them to play.
All that said, I'm coming to the same conclusion as Breech. I have them winning 10 games, going 10-7. I have them actually winning the division, because I have the Cowboys at 9-8, and spoiler alert, I don't have the other 2 teams winning that many games. Debo, in best case scenario, how many games do you think the Eagles can win?
I think this team is probably capped around 11 wins.
Ooh, 11. You sound like Breech talking about the Bengals.
But that is factoring in the schedule. They've definitely improved.
Wait, you're saying that's their ceiling? Like, that's best case? Like, they probably won't top that? Or is that your prediction?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying it would be hard for me to envision them topping 11 wins, even with their improvements, unless, these added pieces and just a year 3 development from Jalen Hurts that is truly like a big leap that we've seen from other quarterbacks that I think would take them to the next level. I'm expecting Hurts to continue to improve, but I don't think he's going to be a top 3 quarterback in the league.
By the way, 11 wins. That wins that division, right, Breach?
What?
11 wins the division.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, the Cowboys won 12 last year, but it does feel like 11 would do it this year.
Yeah, I think the toughest stretch for the Eagles is going to be weeks 11, 12, 13 at Indy, Green Bay, Tennessee.
That's brutal.
That is, but it's sort of sandwiched between the Commanders and the Giants, and then the Bears after that. So you have some cushion there.
But here's the crazy thing about the Eagles, though, is they could start 6-0. It wouldn't be completely crazy with Lions, Vikings, Commanders, Jacksonville. So that's 4 very winnable games. They'll probably be favored in 3 of them, probably 4 of them, since the Vikings game's at home. The Cardinals in Arizona, who won't have DeAndre Hopkins, and then you get the Cowboys at home going in before your week 7 bye. I mean, there's no reason they can't win every single one of those games.
And then you come out with the Steelers and the Texans. I mean, sweet mercy.
And then the Commanders, maybe they're 9-0.
How concerned are you about that?
Down.
How concerned are you about that Jaguars game, Debo, in terms of the Doug Peterson revenge game?
We got Doug revenge. We got 2 Carson revenge games. There's a lot of revenge on.
You should welcome the Carson revenge games.
Yeah, we would have had it regardless with a game at Indy, but it turns out it's 2 of them versus Washington.
I'd be more concerned about the Doug revenge game.
Yeah, he'll dip into his bag of tricks.
Week 10 is the second Eagles-Washington game. What's the over-under that Carson Wentz starts that game in Week 10?
Plus 120.
What are the odds he starts in Week 3?
I mean, that's a real question. I don't get it, but I ain't Ron Rivera.